Hi, Todd Warren here in the Forecast Center with an update on the weather here across the Arklatex. As we're still not out of the woods as far as first the cold and the hazardous travel conditions across the area. A look at what's happening in downtown Marshall as I record this, and you can still see quite a bit of that sleet that's on the ground. What has happened is it has basically been compacted, a little bit of melting has occurred, and it's formed a solid sheet of ice, which is extremely slick. So travel in these areas will not improve probably until tomorrow. Now let's switch over to a live view from Texarkana. You can see what's happened in some of the well-traveled streets is that the sun, we've seen a little bit of the asphalt exposed. The sun has warmed that up. A lot of melting has occurred. However, all this melting is only going to refreeze tonight. We probably will have an issue with black ice. So travel is going to remain extremely difficult, and the conditions will quickly worsen here on roads just like this that you're seeing here. Once the sun goes down, temperatures will quickly drop into the teens, and again, all this moisture is only going to refreeze and produce some very slick streets across the area during the night tonight. So let's move forward and talk about when we see some improvement. Again, right now we have managed to warm into the mid to upper 20s, a few lower 30s over the southern sections of the area. And as we go through the day tomorrow, of course, tonight going to be a very cold night. For many of us, the coldest night that we've seen with this arrival of the Arctic air, as we'll be in the single digits and low teens for nighttime lows tonight. But this is a look at how we could warm up tomorrow. Notice in Shreveport, 13 for the low right at sunrise, and then we'll see temperatures rise above freezing by late morning and likely stay there. Highs tomorrow area-wide probably in the upper 30s to lower 40s with an abundant supply of sunshine. So we should melt what's left of the frozen precipitation fairly quickly as we go through the afternoon. Try to dry it out, and we should get back to normal by tomorrow evening with maybe a few leftover slick spots. If we manage to make it to freezing tomorrow night, it's quite likely that we will stay above. Here's a look at Robin's Starry Futurecast, and you can see that during the nighttime hours tonight we will stay clear. The wind will be calmed. Again, temperatures, hard freeze warning in effect, as we'll see those temperatures in the low to middle teens over much of the area with a few single digits. Tomorrow the south wind will help to warm us well above freezing into the 40s, and then we'll see clouds begin to work their way back into the area tomorrow night. But this is only going to be temporary. It does look like any rain will stay to our east, so that's not going to be a concern with this little disturbance moving through. And we should close tomorrow, Thursday, I should say, with a little bit of sunshine and highs warming well into the 50s on Thursday. However, as I zoom this out, notice another batch of north winds. There is another surge of colder air that's going to sneak its way into the Arklatex Thursday night, and that will result in some rather chilly conditions as we head into the weekend. Now, longer range, it is going to warm up again, but it's also going to be very wet next week. You can see what's going to be happening is that we'll see a trough eventually develop over the western sections of the country. Our first round of rain likely will arrive Sunday night or Monday, and we'll see off and on periods of rain across the Arklatex as we go through the rest of next week with this big upper level low, which is going to be camped out somewhere over the southwestern sections of the Arklatex, or of the country, I should say. And with this setup, that usually means we get a decent amount of rain, especially if this low hangs out for a while. And look at the blend of the longer range models here going out 10 days. Shows you that next week we could be looking at rainfall totals in that 3 to as much as 5-inch range. Now keep in mind this is spread out over a 5-day period for the most part. So flooding issues probably will not be too much of a concern until we get late in the week, and we'll have to keep an eye on any heavier downpours during the last half of next week with the rain that is anticipated. So cold and slick tonight. We get back to normal by tomorrow afternoon. And then we kind of watch out for a very wet week across the Arklatex next week. So that being said, here are the details on your temperatures tonight. Fortunately, we won't see much wind, so wind chill not going to be too much of an issue. 13 for the low tonight in Shreveport, 12 in Natchitoches, 10 in Texarkana, and you can see several locations, including Magnolia, Hope, and DeQueen, dipping into the single digits. Big warm up tomorrow with that south wind combining with the sunshine. We'll hit 38 in Texarkana, 43 in Shreveport, and 45 degrees for the daytime high tomorrow in Natchitoches. 10-day forecast shows the Friday and the weekend looks dry, but it's going to be a bit on the chilly side. We'll see highs in the upper 30s, lower 40s, lows in the teens and lower 20s, so it will be cold at night. But notice the rain from Monday on and off through Friday. The good news is next week it will be warmer, and fortunately we don't have much to worry about as far as severe weather the way it looks right now, as highs will mainly be in the low to middle 60s, lows will mainly be in the 40s and 50s. So again, if you are traveling or have to travel once the sun goes down on this Tuesday evening, or even right now, this Tuesday afternoon, we still have a great deal of slick spots on the roadways out there. We have seen some improvement today. That improvement will go away once the sun goes down this evening, as travel will remain very hazardous until we get above freezing, and that likely will take place by noon tomorrow.